Peace be upon you. Yes, I'm still in my pajamas. I'm slow. I've been doing, well, private readings on urgent matters. Okay, take a deep breath in. Even though it's a bit late. Yeah. Misha approves. Okay. We're gonna start to less important, let's say, oracles. Okay. General energy here. We have a card. Spirits of Nature, 22. You need to reconnect. Forest, greenery, nature. We have it. Only those that have flipped. Two cards. Okay. Lots of fire. I believe this will extend past the lunar cycle into Sag season, of course. There seem to be two energies that meet somewhere in the upper realms. One is facing something, taking more actions, being more conscious of our involvement in the world. Power, if you want. The responsibility and the burden of one's purpose and nature and calling. She's taking it on. Doing her best. Very powerful. Some form of a liberation and come what may come. Someone is embracing themselves beyond judgment and self-criticism and so on. Definitions, labels. Embracing her actual, genuine role. Very powerful. The manifester, the liberator. The one that ignites hearts, I hear. Number 48. Free. Free. Something comes full circle. So back to basics, back to origins, back to source, back to essence, intrinsic value, etc. And the ability to envision again. A rebirth of some sort, currently in a stage of cocooning. Faith that everything is provided. Definitely transformation, acceptance of loss, and overcoming this dichotomy of abundance, right? We have the fish here, and loss. Misery, failure, commiseration, victimhood, lack of resources, fear, financial fear, and so on. Scarcity mentality or energy. Manifestation, the wand, the vertical channel. Now one understands that one is a vessel for which something works. Their intention isn't rather the nature of their heart, hence then their decision and the intention that they muster at this time will be able to forge a new path. There are two ones. There's something or someone, also acknowledgement of pestilence, being able to maintain cool and center, allowing oneself to be corrected, transformed, connected with source, but inability to ground in practical, releasing that need right now to have something tangible or something pan out or the right amount of money or time or all those expectations have got to go. It's kind of elevated. And yeah, it's terrifying because there's no firm foundation, nothing for you to fall back on. But you understand that you're elevated for a purpose. Even though your ego will perceive it as quite the opposite. Everything's denied to me. I'm in lack. Circumstances are terrible. Locusts, right? Energy. Spiritual and specifically psychological healing, integration, going within, being vulnerable, open, revealing the subconscious. There are waters beneath you, raising above it as you emerge from it. Baptism, newfound faith, actual, genuine faith. Birth, and in a practical sense, yes, pregnancies, miraculous healings. Everything that afflicted you seems to just dissipate and so on. Very powerful. There's a lot to say on that, but let's keep it moving. You feel as if you're protected. It may just be a kind of a splitting that occurs, a very obvious, perceptible splitting, whereas you no longer associate with whatever self arises. You understand the necessity of it. Whatever role you may be called to play at any time, right? But you see that, separation in between who you truly are and whatever self you currently need to become. Romantical love, relationships, ongoing connections, if any, the nature of said connection. Speaking of union of opposites and integration. Practical-wise, reality-wise, actual relationships. Let's see. Gosh. Thank you. There's definitely resistance here. Profound happiness, conquering a new kind of a love. A genuine one. It may be more platonic, innocent. Don't confuse this with romantical. This is a lot more powerful, higher, more elevated than that for how it translates to us. Romantical love is a trial in and on itself. This, healing the inner child, motherhood again, birth of something that you're really proud of or you connect with, or you see the hand of God and you recognize God in whatever it is that you interact or approach or is approaching you or you experience in your physical reality, you start seeing the light. Obviously, it cuts both ways. You will also instantly acknowledge what is of darkness. Now that your heart is open, there's no more fear. You can experience miracles. Unexpected pregnancies, even for those who no longer hoped for them, or the joys of motherhood, but generally speaking, the feminine, embracing this beautiful trait, the nurturing, seeing purpose in it. Motherhood alone is such a challenging, difficult, and painful experience, but of course, it's also the most fulfilling and purposeful. If that's not purpose, I don't know what is. 19 and 10. Profound, complete happiness, joy. You can associate this with the 10 of Cups. It's joy to the heart, genuine emotional fulfillment. Purity. Receiving, seeing yourself for something, some creature's eye specifically, or a child's, for example. Therefore, you see yourself in a different light, because in this case, it's the child that caresses the feminine. The unborn children, those to come, those that are already here. Honoring the mother, generally speaking, also means honoring nature. Going with the flow. Gratitude. She's bare feet. And flowers fall when the child approaches to give kisses, right? Connection. Mouth to mouth. In the beginning there was the word, hence why we humans kiss. It's as if there's an energy transference. The kiss holds powerful truth. Oh, the song comes to mind, A Kiss from a Rose. Phrase. Is it a song? Anyway, it's for you to determine. Bottom of the deck. Love at first sight or lightning. If you had a trial or challenge with someone that you felt were the one and only, it was a trial of fire, the unexplored passions, yeah, same old, learning how to love, and apparently you managed to do so. Because this wasn't it. You're seeing it now. It was just lust, passion. For the forbidden, for what you cannot have, for what seems to escape you, for something idealized, or your perception of someone or something, etc. I had to do rather with you and your degree and why it needed to happen. So that lightning kind of first glance connection was there, except it served a different purpose. It was revealing something else to you. Love had nothing to do with it. Quite the opposite, actually. Egoistic love, or as Rabbi Tversky calls it, fish love. I love the fish, therefore I eat it. Okay, let's, in the meantime, four, well, 4, 4, 8, free. So good results when it comes to whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Again, you see the essence of things as you're working with whatever forces you tap into or channel or grasp onto. You feel as if they're through you transferring into the world. Very powerful. And 10, 1, beginning. Free. Working for the benefit, in service or for the benefit of others. And you understand now that your personal duty or purpose is to be exactly what you are, the best version of you, and that's why you need to take this time. It's also a drop of circus or feeling like Jack in the Box. There's so much to say on this. There's light coming from the right side, so restoration of hope or healing relationship with the opposite sex, if it's a feminine, and so on. A lot to say. I acknowledge and follow the profound desire from within me. As I said, the sense of you're ready to, because there's a lot of fire, but rather alchemized kind of fire, very creative, warm, loving. Something that forges, has forged you specifically, made you stronger, more courageous in embracing your purpose and your destiny. Human beings are never satisfied by limited fulfillment. We are meant to transcend. It's Romanian, but I translate it for you. Okay, sorry. So your affirmation is, I recognize or I acknowledge and follow my most profound desire from within me. I apologize for the sound. I'm doing my best. I'm very slow and had a lot to do navigating my own challenges here, and yeah, as usual, top quality content here. And we may, not sure if your goddess is going to be visible or is going to reach whomever is meant to have it. I release this entirely. Reversal, ground yourself. Yeah, nature was also reversed, remember? Ground yourself. In reverse, is telling you to stop seeking for clear definitions of what certainties actually are. Nothing is certain, that's the whole point. You have to go down, so in order to go up. As you go back up, you go back up on the wheel, on the tree, if you want, of life. And you progress through the wheel. And remember when I said there's no grounding here? That's how you overcome anything that we associate with grounding, which is stability, actual results, tangible results, finances, time itself. Sometimes we may perceive it as a resource. Health, basic and primal needs. You have been challenging all of them inadvertently. Not looking after your health or not caring, no longer connecting with what you put in the body, having difficulties with the digestion, metabolizing, blood pressure. There's no grounding. Emotions start to take a hold of you, turned into fire, destructive, anger, lust, etc. So in reality, that's how you ascend. You birth from the waters. Hence why we use it for baptism, purification. We are water. You become one with it. You're embracing the various roles that you need to play according to what you feel you're sent and called to do. So in order for you, you're traversing, like right after the flood, right? There was only water. You got to move past the perception or how your primal self reacts to external stimuli and so on. I can see why the post today about, there is no spoon. Don't be conditioned by your own environment so that you can manifest a different one. And that's going to be like a projection of something that you actually truly feel. Energy, vibration, frequency. You weren't supposed to ground yourself. That would have restricted or limited you when it comes to the progress that you're supposed to make. You had to elevate to something higher, especially love-wise. Go up, right? Growing wings, the song comes to mind again. Leaps of faith, courage, defying logic and rationale. Belief in genuine nature magic, as an observance of nature allows you to see that there is no ground. Matter is a spiritual manifestation. It's a projection of raw energy. You got to connect with that. There is no you, there is no bird, there is no tree. We live call it in a reflection of the upper realm. So everything is flipped and reversed here, right? Good is evil, evil is good. So in pursuit of knowledge, you had to reach the roots, which in reality is where the branches of the tree of life is. And that's how you go back to life, by descending. The real knowledge is above. We descended into life, and the price for life is death. I hope that makes sense. Never mind. I'm going to try and refrain from conveying anything because, I know my energy is highly problematic. And just give your messages. So we leave me out of it, just a messenger, that's it. And not because I'm declining any responsibility nor what comes with whatever it is that we're doing here. I take it full on, I know. I'm paying the price for it. Or I'm, denying any responsibility. Quite the contrary, I take full on responsibility for my share, my part. But I'm just saying, if you have a problem, you're obviously coming back for a reason. The fact that you refuse to interact with me or do so in such a problematic manner, or you don't even want to be, even in the virtual space, associated with me and so on, fine. But you're coming back for a reason. I'm obviously the vessel that delivers what you constantly navigate towards, right? And that's not my doing. has nothing to do with me. Each of us tap into something different. So take your guidance and try and move past the same way I move past all the evil directed towards me personally. So let's try not to make it personal anymore. I understand that you have a visceral hatred towards me specifically. You hate the fact that you come back to hear what I have to deliver. But is it really me? Or is it something that you perceive in me? It's a clear reflection of something that needs to be addressed within you. Because remember, we act as mirrors as well. So, it's all about your progress. Whether you achieve it or not, makes no difference to me. Except, of course, in my heart, because I do care. You have to care. And yes, it does hurt if you care. It would be a lot easier to detach, just turn it into a business, exploit your weaknesses, use your ego against you, and make my existence, quote unquote, better. Except I know that there's a price for that. Hence why I don't do it. Can and should are two different. Anyway, the good news in reverse. Archangel Gabriel. Yes, you're refusing the messages because you don't like the messenger. You're doing yourself a disfavor. If something resonates with you, pursue that. I'm through excellency the divine messenger. Have faith. I only bring good news in your life. I plant the word of God in your heart. You're resisting it. And I've always known it. I have nothing tangible of the worldly wealth and glory. Never did I promise it to you. What's the point of that? Because it's all energy. Only if you change from within can you experience bliss without. So yeah, divine messenger, the good news in reverse. He brings truth. If you perceive it as negative and you literally shook the messenger, it means that's the very thing you need to face. The one that you dread the most, the one that hurt you the most, that message there, where the pain is, the solution is. Oh, sorry. Okay, I got it. I was gonna say I'm sorry. I have a special connection with this archetypal energy here, because that's why it's also included in the prayer for protection. I apologize. Okay, I know something needs to flip, right? Let's flip it. Do you get it now? Okay. And it's in your power to do so. Sometimes it's just a shift in perspective. You can always choose not to feel those terrible feelings. Continuing. The crown. The crown. Flowers, flowers, birds, as if they're placed from above. Restoration, beauty. Restored health, prosperity, and rebirth. Abundance, yes. Beautiful. Very, literally pregnant energy. It's past the fertility stage. It is about to actually bear its fruit, like in the spring when no one expects it, and all of a sudden, there it is, a flower in the snow. Oh, that was quick. Inspiration, 49. We have 48 and 49. Healing, as I said. Geminic energy, caduceus. Spiritual healing, eyes closed, just like her. Connection with nature and divine manifestations within nature, right? She connects. She connects. Here's the flowers, right? Connection again. But something that's poured through her, as in through her something gets to occur or happen or take place. So, definitely Geminic Mercurian energy. The great healer. The mentalist, the magician, the lover. Merging, union, right? Centering, here's the wand again. There are wings right on top of it, right? Wings, bird, wings. 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 Short-lived. Without presence, you cannot see them. You'll never know what you wished. You may fail to connect in between cause and effect. You're missing in all the process. You're not there present. Then you would miss what's actually coming out. It's kind of like flying without wings in this case. She doesn't have them. There's some sort of a self-soothing and cocooning and healing the inner child, especially for the feminine. And whatever semblance of grounding you see is rather more like sand. Seems to be so infertile. The circumstances don't look promising. Still, she will still walk barefoot. And her inner self, right, her higher self is elevated. Something external actually reminds her of that. And here we have flowers and wings. If you're not careful, you might miss it. It seems as if it beats its wings so fast, as if it's standing still. Beautiful. Also speaks of some form of a manna, but it's about also releasing back into the world through you, specifically in a specific form, something that you've already received, you already tapped into, you're putting it back out. Externally translates something that comes out of your hands or through your work, an action that you undertake, words you speak. She's using her left hand, of course, it's a feminine, from her heart, from the chalice. Everything's passed through the heart, the nature of the heart. Sacred Graal energy. The pure, purified, and holy. The Shekhinah energy. Yes, it's Shekhinah. Okay, moving forward. Sorry, it's so easy to do it. I mean, it's hard to keep track of what comes through, but yeah. There you were. Heavier energies here. We're going to read them. Inspiration. Inhale, exhale. The divine breath, the Tzimtzum, it's how the world is created. They speak of the breath, but it's, again, duality. It involves two parts of this process, right? One cannot exist without the other, or one implies the other. Inhale, exhale. The only thing that literally only exhaled is the Creator. As for us, we receive in order to give, right? Inhale, exhale, in, out. If you stop this process, something happens, then it turns against you, you implode, literally. Whether it's mental-wise, depending on your capacity and skills, and yeah, you gotta reconnect. Maybe double layer, powerful, again, Geminic energy. And we had Fucus energy, the 13th sign came through again for November through December. Spoke of it in last live. The 13th sign, past the 12th hour. The 12th hour. Again, I sense this process is already completed. You're about to see the actual manifestation here, some form of a witnessing of a miracle. Yep, something's already completed. And divine timing is at play. He's the one that looks back, both in present and future. He's associated with many deities. And now, Mercury, elemental-wise, if you think of it, just by its very properties, that it slips, right? It's liquid what? Silver. Moon energy as well. Quick, sharp intellect. Resolution to old problems. Clarity in old issues, traumas, against healing, powerful healing here. Mental, emotional. Ability to stay focused and centered. And choose your vibration, right? Consciously. Okay. Let's continue. Orias. The youth energy. Something is fresh, is hopeful, positive, energetic, active, motivated, and curious. Finding solutions, yes. Connecting with the muses for the masculine and so on. Finding inspiration and overlord in the abyss, Abaddon. Pestilence, again that energy of pestilence, corruption and malice in reverse. Being able to, again, center and navigate something that you see as, you see the darkness for what it is, basically. Sing me a song of a lass that is gone over the sea to sky. Merry of soul, she sailed on a day. Willow and breeze, islands and seas. All that she knew was gone. All that was fair. All that was good, I believe it was. Say, go that lass behind. If you didn't watch the series, you should. It conveys actually in a very powerful manner how some of us have recollection, see through the limitations of necessary perception of linear time, and literally can travel, at least energetically. Some have recollection of past cycles and incarnations. It's also a reminder that you don't choose your counterpart. Not so much your destiny either, but you still have difficult choices to make on the sacrifices that you're going to do, and for what. So yeah, it's both the twin flames and the nature of history and how we perceive it, our previous stages, parallel timelines, crossing from one to the other, the dangers of that, sacrifice, level of faith, genuine love, courage, and the ability to overcome the trials that we go through. Only the worthy, only the brave. Love shouldn't be the prize. Love should be the journey. Yeah. I'll place the link for the song for you if you don't know it. We do have some European Irish that may know the song already. This is the most important, and it refuses are the emanations. Very powerful, very dangerous. 2, again, 2. A reversal, Leliel, the angel of night. Something is illuminated, and yes, it is very ugly. Moon energy over there. Hesed, the right hand, empathy. There's a balancing in the feminines. In the masculines feel it. She's ready to love again, to birth again, to heal again, to nurture, to bring forward a new era. And she's only going to be able to work with whatever seed she receives right now. Hence why we don't see fertile land and nature is reversed. She appeared to be sterile, empty. But not thirsty though. Those who are thirsty come and drink. Well, I guess she's kind of thirsty. She was thirsty in other ways, but yeah, sorry, I had to say it. Anyway, let's read them. And we're going to look at the heart. This is a bit kitsch, but the energy works. And then go and leave me alone. Yeah, Scorpio, his season here. The ferryman from the underworld is reversed. Oh, the message that came through last night was, with the ones that die, there are the ones that are born. They just switch vessels. The undead. Okay, let's read this. Wait. 1. Archangels, sorry, so that we're done. Oh, okay. Melahel, 13, 22 that we had initially, energy 4. You see? And golden, it means illuminated by the divine. The alchemized fire. Anyway, in the process of alchemization, fire is crucial. In this case, it translated as the passion, the desire, the wants. And it made your waters, your emotions boil, your mind confused, because it fumigates, right? It confuses your mind as well. Sandalphon is reversed, 7. I'm going to read him first. Eternal grace of Archangel Sandalphon, that harmony. You are my chosen and protected one. You have made great progress on the path of awakening of the soul, and you deserve unconditionally the grace of God. You are blessed, inspired, and guided by my heavenly team. Again, I see something that seems to come towards you. Do you see the inverted pyramid? Masculine fire into air, right? And feminine is what? Water. So it seems that rain energy, mana, rain, but in a tangible manner. You see that whatever you perceive as being cast onto the world is for the highest good. And you focused on what you can do to work with this and put it back, right? Like Pandora over there. And work with it. So you acknowledge that you're receiving consciously and you're aware of what that may be and so on. Seeds, the new seeds are being planted. So the focus should be on what you put back up. It's a stage of turmoil, important decisions and pondering. And I do believe you have made progress, you just don't realize it. Because you're yet to embrace the stage of, final liberation. Let me put this out. With creativity and inspiration, energy, over there. Da, mama. Ashashi? Cheesy, mami. Da? Da, ty bist mama. Ty maestro kishori, mami. Jo. Och kishori me. Go, you're gonna get excited and gonna go there again. When she's too excited, she doesn't process emotions too well. And when she allows herself to do so, she gets extremely excited. She always navigates towards the fire, by the way, as well. And she's keeping me in check. She's convinced that she needs to save me. And right, no, mama, no. And then since she has PTSD, severe, and autoimmune, she scratches herself, and we cannot have that. I cut her nails and all of that, but yeah, it's a habit. So she destroys her eyes. All the treatment that we give is for nothing then. Anyway, so I protect her by sending her away. But she doesn't get too excited again and starts getting nervous again. It's a very uncomfortable state for her, as in to be happy, to be serene, to feel, to connect, to feel love. Solitude is her chosen state. Anyway, let's continue with the karma angels. I need one more card from them. Melahel 13. Speak to us, because we have too many double energies here. Right? Look, double again. From the emanations, which is another version of them, basically. Oh, or rather where they stem from, a reversal. It's showing us the challenge. If you're brave enough to face something that's extremely ugly, Mahasaya, that 12, that free again, free, adding up to a 9. Individuality, purpose, reaching completion, independence, achievement, conquering something. Again, I see it as the 9 months process, which is going to be completed before Christmas, and ties in back with the Geminic energy. Miracles can happen. Lots of things will be healed. Miraculously, at least that's how we're going to perceive it. All our books are not going to help us right now. Information or unapplied spirituality. We're all good about, entertaining possibilities, theorizing and so on. But when it comes down to it, we all fall like flies. So practice. more practice, applying what you know rather than pursuing more knowledge. Knowledge has been weaponized, used against us, corrupted, and so on. Especially when we completely abandon our ability to question or test the spirits, or in a world that is literally upside down. Even vision-wise, we forget that it's our mind that flips it back as we perceive it and experience it. Anyway, enough, I know. Yeah. Back to the cards. The fallen angels, or yes, 49. Some are numbered, some are not. Orias or Oriax. Element is water, the planet is moon. As I said, more moon, even though we have the Caduceus. So Mercury, but in its healing aspect. Also in its ever-changing, transforming, and not being able to be trapped or contained. And it's kind of like an embodiment of freedom. Sulfur Mercury is also a combination that we think of when we think about alchemically, the alchemical marriage sometimes. So union of opposites, integration, and so on. Anima, animus, right? Finding harmony and alignment, complementarity, and so on. Plus, minus, sun, moon. Anyway, this is the moon. Again, I didn't choose. Some brothers may feel I choose the readings. I don't. If I were, don't you think I would be having the minimum of intelligence to do it in a manner that's actually, productive in whatever sense productivity may actually entail, right? Rather than, sacrificing, because it's a conscious sacrifice, it's a service and there's purpose in it. I would be at the other end of the receiving, right? Seeking for my own interests. And yeah, in that sense, anybody with even a 60 IQ understands what they need to put out there if they have a commercial approach to things. And that's why I failed miserably, because I was never supposed to succeed in the sense of whatever success may be associated with when it comes to content creating and whatever. For me, this is just a means to deliver the guidance. Anyway, so the message is: strive for harmony with your fellows and listen to your instinct. Oria's totem's beast is the lion. He rides again that fire. Leo season, Cancer into Leo, water into fire, is when that inquiry about who in the spiritual family or who connects with the guidance is guided towards us will get married. Here it is. For those who had their marriage is tied, as they say, hence they had spirit spouses, sometimes it translates as just having a type and so on. Couldn't find anyone, whatever. There's many explanations for that. There's something that implies, it's look at the bigger picture. You're not the only one. It's a phenomena. It was a stage. We conquered something else through that stage, and some will actually weren't meant to. Not at that stage, not in this cycle, and so on. So this doesn't happen out of it, need or conditioning, or these are all holy matrimonies. Conscious and willing and non-toxic and non-transactional and not merely based on, superficial reasons. And there are no reasons whatsoever. They're just naturally brought together. Those who are meant to be together. Hence, the downside of that is what is not meant to be together. It doesn't matter what one does. They won't be allowed to. So the lion, he rides a horse and carries a staff with 2 serpents twined around it. And he's the energy of the serpents that we saw as well in today's reading. Oh, and it's the message of last evening. I wrote on my notes that I used in automatic writing, and I opened to something that spoke of the serpent-headed. Anyway. And the serpent is associated, for example, with when it comes to balance or justice, harmony, love, and relationships. With Mercury is about healing and the merging of the two, bipolarity and so on. A dual nature, and but for example, for justice is rather its ability to master the inner serpent, as in progress, but not for one's sake, genuine progress for the sake of all, right? So genuine justice, defeating the selves, becoming nothing other than what one is at any given time. So this is the caduceus, the staff of Mercury or Hermes, the spokesman of the gods in ancient Greece or Rome. Orius is the patron of astrology and other forms of divination. He brings enlightenment and shows you how to live in harmony with those around you. Physical reality, right back to your journey and your experience. However far you are in the spiritual process of understanding that ultimately it's all just imagine it as a God's wish, a God's thought manifested into reality. And we as God's children, we have the same ability, but only within the perfect system that He created, not by transgressing it or pushing against it or violating it or destroying it, corrupting it, and nothing good comes out of that. Hurting others is hurting oneself, and sometimes even that is necessary, I know, but not if the intention is to do so. If the intention is to correct or protect, preserve something other than what is right there in front of you, and you recognize something as a transgression, a perversion of some sort, and you feel the call, yes, you're called to correct something. And that's what it's all about right now. This is all about correction, restoration. The spokesman of God in ancient Greece and Rome, Orius is the patron of astrology and other forms of divination. He brings enlightenment and shows you how to live in harmony with those around you. Often life's complications are beyond logical solutions, and then it is time to trust your intuition and feelings. Exactly. You need to move beyond logic. And back to the post that I posted today, I was guided towards to move beyond logic. Connect with the divine mind. As it translates, you see it, you can observe it within nature. Okay. Mausolea. Oracle of the Souls, Abaddon. And open right to it, and it's reversed. I'm going to put it up right. I want to connect with the image. Overlord of the Abyss, an unknowable alien being returning from the abyss. You went through the dark night. Hence why the ferryman was reversed. An unknowable alien being, the great devil of the abyss. Abaddon wages eternal war on Mausolea, El Shaddai and the Elohim, those who challenge the Most High, in reverse. They've been revealed in order for us to recognize them. Recognize what they represent within us and what led to their power, ultimately. The Lord of pestilence and corruption. He is a methodical, thorough destroyer who nonetheless enjoys using trickery to seduce souls away from El Shaddai and his enemies. Abaddon represents the inclination towards evil in the world, The worst of all instincts and actions, natural or unnatural, where the demons and devils engage in their cruelties out of ego, delusion, or a twisted sense of vengeance. Abaddon knows that he is doing what he is doing, and it takes pleasure in evil for its own sake. The domains are pestilence, corruption, and malice. Your ability to see it is based on how much of it you address within yourself. It's as if you yourself may have been infected by a disease. You don't take it personally, do you? Maybe to some extent. I should have protected myself better. I know I transgressed. I know I've eaten the wrong things, right? So just be mindful of distinguishing very clearly beyond definitions of good and evil. Because at this point, we don't get to use that. It's rather being restored to its proper meaning and divine intentions behind what's going to come to pass. But rather see everything as natural or unnatural. That's your truth. I hope you grasp the depth of what I'm trying to tell you here. Natural and unnatural. Natural is considered, no matter how horrendous we may perceive it, if you sense that it's bound or supposed to happen, you see that there's a part of the process, even though it's one that's very ugly. Whereas, for example, let's take death. Do you recognize death as natural? Is it pleasant? No. Is it desired by us? No. Neither should it be, right? That's something that we have to take at face value without ever trying to challenge. Because we've accepted that we can't do it, at least to some extent. What does evil do? It proposes that we can and we should try and defeat death. Our very marking of the rebirth and the leveling up, if you want, to the transition and the progress. And it's also a form of love, because we ourselves wouldn't be here if others didn't leave. Call them our previous versions had to die in order for us to be here. Do you understand the sacrifice and the gift? And then it's all just constantly recycled. This is a finite, intelligently designed, perfect world. We are in the process of correcting it and restore it. As we move forward, in reality, we are actually restoring, returning in some sense. Does that make sense? We're coming out of the desert. But even here, we've been sustained. We always receive what we want, not what we need. What we need, not what we want, you see? Evil, how it reverses things, yeah. Any of us can be used. So if your choices are not clear in whom you serve and what you choose to connect to, and you betray yourself, going against yourself and against what you perceive to be natural, your own conscience, etc. And I'm not speaking about rational beliefs, I'm speaking actual, that inner judge. And yep, that's very useful. Sometimes it can work against you if you yourself have struggled to also consult the other aspect of you, right? The Redeemer is considered to be the one who comes and saves and, right, reminds us of all the good things we did and keeps us positive. But the balance is when you face that inner judge. But facing the inner judge as well, or looking just at darkness, limitation and death, cannot help you either, unless you see that that's what it's necessary as a price for life. And vice versa, life should be cherished and used with responsibility and gratitude, because there would be no life if there wasn't death. Because it's the fruit of sacrifice. So, we're not here to stay. That's not the point. Who wants to live forever, right? Anyway, I'm sorry, I digressed again. So the domains are pestilence, corruption, and malice. So if you look at the process and you see that the natural outcome of something that was way too corrupted at this point is to remove it First and foremost, we have to see it for what it is and needs to be removed. Then you no longer have an aversion or fear of it, or you understand that this is a blessing in disguise. It's no punishment per se, it's a correction. It's giving us yet future versions of us, future generations, more opportunities to explore and enjoy this realm, for many to complete their cycles and experience every single state that this world can offer. Imagine them as frequencies. All of them have to be explored by each of us individually and uniquely. None of them can be repeated, nor should they, but not all at the same time. That's the whole point. So Scorpio sees an Abaddon transformation. The ones refusing to transform will literally be born again forcefully from some form of a trauma, even if that means they'll be taken from the world, granted, because some will die while others are born, granted a new vessel or a way to be here. As in, no one goes anywhere, even if they're not here physically right now. All of the souls, which by the way is a very limited number, there's not an unlimited number of sparks. We shattered into a specific number of sparks. One soul shattered, and we constantly shattered further, call them, you lose the selves, explore the selves, and so on. And now we're coming back together. The downside is the enemy is going to use this natural process against us as well. It's going to hurt us. We're going to form new cults. There's always going to be the ego in it. Anyway. Correction, the painful aspect of correction. Angelarium. Let's start with Leliel. It was the first I saw. Angel of Night, right? In reverse. Connect with the channeled image. Seeing through darkness, right? And the purpose of what we perceive to be darkness, right? What is portrayed to us as terrible, it's actually necessary. A fleeting spirit who dances across the sky. Beautiful but aloof. Stars fill the tresses of Leliel's hair. The night passes whether we are lost to quiet murmurs of sleep or staring out at the darkened expanse of the sky. For everything you see, there is 1,000 things unseen. You witness the glimmer, the gleaming of what is truly there. Leliel passes from star to star, spark to spark, filling the night with light. One would think the darkness to be Leliel's realm. However, it is a starlight that heralds night arrival. So look at the stars, not at the darkness. Star bright, stars light, dance on and across this night. What lullabies await us? What glittering night charms will Leliel hang upon the sky for all to see, for all to dream? Well, for each one, for each of us. Signs shall be wind, a sheer cloth, and the moon. We've seen these symbols in all the cards we saw previously. It was reversed, right? Look at her. Hesed, empathy. The fourth emanation, of course, yes. Back to that 4. It's not numbered, so I didn't consider that. Yes, it's the fourth emanation. The hand that embraces. This is telling you rather to allow yourself to be embraced. Like that child, to be caressed, to see yourself through other people's eyes, truly, genuinely. The healing tears brought on by the forgiveness of sins. Mercy, divine mercy. Grace, sorry. Each kindness repaid in kind. You will receive something that you will feel completely unworthy of. But don't question it. That's for the divine to determine, not you. Whatever you. So release from a sense of unworthiness or incompleteness. Or Hesed's force pulls humanity together, allowing peace to exist between us. This is the power to look inside the heart of those around us and see that we are truly alike. Our need for love and kindness is an essential part of our existence and transcends all other differences we might have. The blue orb's embrace extends across all existence. Hesed is at the very center of the pillar of mercy, which by the way is a masculine trait, but since it's blue, it's merged with, or exists within a feminine that's balanced, right? And when associated with water per se, then that's what humanity is, hence why we are in my mother, feminine again. But the water is in correlation with the moon. As for the fire, the masculine aspect that emanates, goes back up, burns, consumes, and so on, but also creates and warms, and the masculine aspect of it. Why water? Because it merges with it. Without it, water could never really find balance, nor could she procreate. It's the seed, ultimately, right? My battery is gonna die. There's a lot to say, and literally I felt a thought, a message being taken from me. Yeah, it happens. So the blue orb, as I was saying, it's let's call it the creative waters, the water that birth. Oh, it refers to the eternal living fire, sorry, which color is blue. Ultimately, when it meets its counterpart and then basically switch and merge into one, which is golden. Solar, right, energy. So back to masculine in order to procreate. And have the ability together to emanate, together, not on their own. Hesed is at the very center of the pillar of mercy, defining its core characteristic and forming an extreme opposite to its female counterpart. Hence the two pillars around the high priestess holding the Torah, the scriptures, the laws, so associated, hence why also with justice. So an extreme and forming an extreme opposite to its female counterpart, Geburah. The two arms of the tree extend in opposite directions. So it refers to us as well as a tree in that sense, right, of life, that we have two branches, two arms, two sides to us. But also the vertical channel, right, two trees, two arms. Hesed pulls tight so that Gevurah cannot push away. This wrestling match cannot be won by either side. Those who seek to win will always lose. Yet the struggle itself is meaningful because it is a struggle that defines our morality. It's found in kindness, charity, and love, hence that inner decision-making process and so on. So again, those who seek to rule, they shouldn't. Those who seek to receive, they should give. Those who seek to win, they shall always lose. They will experience loss. So rather perceiving everything as receiving for a purpose. Everything is a means to an end. And there's beautiful, beautiful power and agency in that. Purpose and connection. You see that in nature all throughout. We departed from her. She can only be appeased and alchemized through birth. But right now we're in the process of what do we need to put to rest. Many blessings, may you be healed, sealed, guided and protected on your path. Oh, no. Sorry. Not sure. Mahasaya, number 12, in reverse. Happiness and harmony. Another of the 72 angels, Mahasaya, encourages you to find what is most harmonious to you. When this card comes up in a reading, you must turn to what delights you most and look after your own interest above others for this time. The card also advises that independence, individuality, and so on, and staying true to yourself, that you should stay close to what you know and not try anything new. Again, those books in reverse that I was saying, it's time to start applying. You know more than you think, you just don't realize it. The challenge is letting go of sorrow. The lesson is happiness is something that requires recognition. Again, that bliss is a choice. Number 12 and 13, look at this order. So this was reversed. You're yet to realize it. And apparently this was the second card that fell out. So something is constantly trying to pull you backwards, or you feel you're going backwards. As for the progress, 13. The 13, I just realized, the 13th sign. I put that to unlisted. I believe there's a link in one of the comments on last evening's live from someone that actually was, connected and was curious about it, has some knowledge. And it's nice when someone shares with us and we could discuss and debate and so on. But anyway, about the 13th sign. I just read how it came, and it was a message from last year that, again, I did automatic writing on, and it just came in reference to the upcoming year. So it was very important because curiously I opened it and I realized it is about this last stage right before Christmas. This year we spoke about that 9-month cycle that began with Easter, and it's about to come to completion. This is a very important, some form of unexpected, unforeseeable, so that we acknowledge divine intervention, and it's very powerful stage. Anyway, so Melahel, safety in journey. This angel, as is clear from the card image, protects us in travel, new ventures, and when leaving one situation for another, such as a new job, relationship, or home. The card suggests it is a safe and beneficial time to travel, to make a change, or even just to change the way you think. All these changes in your life are being blessed at this time. The challenge is making the journey, and the journey should be truth, which is love, which is light, is the highest form of love. And lesson, accept that all the changes in your life have led you to the next one. That terrible perception of failure, it's not true. And that's it. I was gonna look at this deck for you if the battery doesn't completely die. Oh, okay. Ah, yeah. Beautiful energy. Changes indeed. Use of all this wisdom because you've traveled a long way. Many blessings. Remember, you're always in my prayers. Most part of my work, which is actually most difficult, I'm going to be honest, was for all these years, every single night, no matter what, even when I was with high fever, not knowing if I'm going to make the day, but God's mercy, in my bed,